The RadRunner Plus takes everything I loved about Rad Power Bike's original RadRunner and tricks it out with all of the upgrades you can imagine, turning this into an awesome little electric utility bike. Hey everyone, Micah here with Electrek, and today I'm reviewing the RadRunner Plus from Rad Power Bikes. Let's check it out. If I could only ever choose one electric bike to do everything with, this would be it. The RadRunner Plus is a truly go everywhere and do everything e-bike. It's got a unique design and the right loadout to cover just so many different styles of riding and to fit so many different types of riders. If we start with a quick look at the specs of the bike, we'll find that it fits with the typical Rad levels, meaning we've got a 750 watt motor in the rear wheel that is going to give us our 20 mile per hour top speed. There's also a standard 674 watt hour Rad battery like you'll find on most of their other e-bikes. It gives you a range of around 25 to 45 miles depending on how you ride it, and it's easy to pop off and then lock back on for anyone who wants to take their battery inside for charging. For anyone who charges inside of a garage, you'll probably never need to do this, but it's a nice option for people who live in an apartment or want to charge at work. Because the bike comes with both a hand throttle and pedal assist, the RadRunner Plus is a Class 2 e-bike. And when it comes to actually using that pedal assist, one of the many upgrades that the RadRunner Plus offers over the base RadRunner is a 7-speed Shimano transmission, making this an even more pedal-friendly e-bike. Speaking of pedal-friendly, the RadRunner is also one of the few moped-style e-bikes that is actually comfortable to pedal. That's because Rad designed this really cool seat that offers both a typical long bench if you lower it all the way down, or an adjustable bike saddle that allows longer-legged riders to get a more appropriate leg extension. That helps the bike fit short and tall riders equally well. Speaking of that seat, I also like how they matched the grips to the saddle. They call this color espresso. I mean, it's just brown, but espresso does sound pretty cool. That long bench saddle is part of the passenger kit that comes with the RadRunner Plus. That means you'll also get the clear wheel protector and the foot pegs. The bench is great for carrying a single adult rider behind you, or you can do what I did and carry a pair of kids, in this case my 2 nephews. The bench seat is even low enough that they can more or less hop on themselves.
Okay, we're all ready.
All right. How fast do you think we can go?
Around 18.
We're doing 19.6 now. 19.9. All right,
20.
we hit 20.
Yeah.
All right, high speed turn, here we come. Whee! And so what do you guys think?
I like this bike.
What do you like about it?
It's very stable, like my dad.
So what's one thing you don't like about it?
I'm very low, so I can't see over you.
Yeah, the visibility in the back isn't so good, is it? Continuing with the list of upgrades is a front suspension fork, something you won't find on the base level RadRunner. Look, if all you want to do is commute in smooth bike lanes, then you might not need suspension. The big tires are not quite fat tires at 3.3 inches, but they still offer lots of air volume and make for a nicer ride. But if you do travel on roads that are full of potholes, or you want to do some more off-road style riding and maybe hit some light gravel trails, then having that front suspension is a really nice addition, and your wrists will definitely thank you. This isn't really an off-road riding bike, but how many bikes work this well in so many different applications? So if you ever do need to cut across the middle of a park, or you just want to go have some fun, you can absolutely do this type of riding. Next, we've got one more important upgrade to cover, and that's the display. It's not a huge deal since you don't necessarily need a display like this, but it's nice to have the info front and center like that. And I also really like having an odometer because it's just fun to see how many miles you put on the bike. And when you start racking up thousands of miles, you really get that sense of accomplishment, and so it's fun to track it. And we're technically not even done with the upgrades here. You'll also find other additions, like the inclusion of those full fenders that make the bike much neater in the rain or mud and keep you from slinging dirt and grime up onto you or your passengers or cargo. Then there's that premium front headlight that comes with a removable rock guard and even has cutouts on the side for side visibility. It's another part that's not a necessity, but it's nice to have, and it adds a more premium feel to the RadRunner Plus over the more basic light found on the entry-level RadRunner. And if you want to go nuts, you can even spec out the bike with even more accessories. There's mounting all over the frame for additional accessories, so you can add baskets and racks up front, or even this cool center console to give you covered storage in the middle of the bike. It's like a trunk for your e-bike, or a frunk, or a middle trunk, so I guess it's a monk? They were probably wise to just call it a center console. In fact, my brother actually has this accessory on his base model RadRunner, and he freaking loves it. They're always filling it up with random stuff for the kids when they take it out on Sunday rides, and it's just a really cool accessory. So there are plenty of other additional accessories out there that you can use to squeeze even more utility out of an already capable e-bike. Now, there are a lot of things that I obviously like about the RadRunner Plus, but I think one of my favorite things, and this goes for the original RadRunner as well, is that it's just such a new and innovative type of bike. Now, Rad Power bikes, they don't just choose their e-bikes out of some catalog and put their sticker on them. They design them all to spec exactly the way they want them. But even for their other bikes, you know, there are other fat tire bikes out there, there are other folding bikes or metro bikes, but for the RadRunner, there's nothing else like it. Rad really went back to the drawing board and recreated what they thought should be in a utility bike. And they created something just brand new that doesn't exist. And I really love that. It really speaks to the difference between Rad Power bikes and a lot of these other companies because they actually innovated something here. What makes it so unique and special is what makes it so useful, and I love that about it. It's just really great to see true innovation in the electric bicycle industry and not just another copycat or another cookie cutter e-bike. It's really something special that we don't see too often, and I think it shouldn't go unappreciated. So yeah, I'm obviously a fan of the RadRunner Plus. I just think it's so cool that it can be used for so many different types of riding. And I think it's even quite fairly priced too at $1,799. That's a $500 premium over the base RadRunner, but if you add up all the installed accessories, you get close to that number anyways, and then you have to factor in the added suspension and that 7-speed transmission, which you can't even add as options on the base model, which makes this a pretty high value upgrade. The base RadRunner is probably sufficient for a lot of people, but those that want to up their game and get an even more useful package, the RadRunner Plus is definitely the bike for you. It's just so hard for me to find anything to complain about here. It's perhaps a bit heavy at 73 pounds, but that's what happens when you build a high utility frame and stuff it full of big batteries and powerful motors, not to mention suspension and all the other accessories it comes with. And I guess my nephew also thought that rear passengers should be up higher so they have better visibility, but he doesn't have to worry about balancing passengers on the back while he's operating it, so he doesn't realize how nice it is having that low center of gravity. Long story short, I could go on and on about how cool I think this e-bike is, and I have very few complaints, but now I'd rather hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of the RadRunner Plus and what type of riding you could see it being used for. Thanks for watching, everyone. We hope you enjoyed that review of the RadRunner Plus from Rad Power Bikes. If you did, why don't you give this video a thumbs up? And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any of our future electric vehicle videos. We'll see you here next time.